Okay, we're looking at worksheet How Fast. That's unit 3. And I've had a lot of questions about questions 2, 3, and 4. So those are the ones we're going to walk through. Now, I want to make a comment. Do not copy my numbers because my numbers are totally made up. And what's more, they're constantly changing as we're doing this lesson. So just be aware. Be aware of what's going on there. So we're going to start by looking at the instructions. And the instructions tell us to paste cells alpha 4 through Gulf 14 from your spreadsheet here. So that's going to be really easy. I'm going to come back here to my spreadsheet, A4. So I'm going to press and hold the left mouse button down. I'm simply going to drag down until I've selected from alpha 4 to Gulf 14. And you see that I've got this big selection here. Now I'm going to go ahead and copy that, Control C, come back here to my worksheet. And let's see here, paste over this. I'm going to select that, Control V. Yes, leave link to spreadsheet. Leave it linked to your spreadsheet because that way, if you change it later, you can easily go back. If you finish or change a number in your spreadsheet, you can easily go back and update that. So I'm going to, by clicking on update right here, okay? And it will update for you. Mine's constantly changing because, again, my numbers are made up and they change every minute. And that's done on purpose so students won't get the idea that they should be copying what I've got, okay? Next, draw a trend line through the data you've taken and paste your chart. Oh, we're going to make a chart illustrating cells A4 through A14 and G4 through G14. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back to our spreadsheet here. I'm just going to click somewhere to get rid of that selection. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to press and hold the left mouse button down. I'm going to drag down to A14. Now I'm going to hold the control key down with my left hand. You'll see at the very bottom corners of the keyboard, there's a key marked CTRL, control key. Use the one on the left. There's no magic to it. It simply makes it so you're not crossing your arms. Now, while still holding the control key down, I'm going to select from G4 to G14. Good. So now we've selected those two ranges. A range is a set of adjacent next to each other, adjacent cells, selected adjacent cells. A cell is simply where a column and a row intersect. Okay, now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to insert a chart. Now, this is clearly the wrong kind of chart. That's not a problem. I'm going to come up here to the top of the setup. I'm in the setup menu here, okay? And I'm going to go to column right there. It says chart type. I'm going to scroll down and select line chart. Good. So now we have a line chart showing time and power level. That as the power level increases, the time it takes to travel those 5 rotations decreases, which makes perfectly good sense. Okay. Now we'll come over here and click. And now we want to put in that trend line I talked about. So we're going to click on Customize, Series, and down here at the bottom of Series, we see trend line. And I'll go ahead and give that trend line a little bit brighter color. Good. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and copy this chart. Now there's 2 ways. I'm going to come over here and select copy chart. Yeah, you just saw it change. That's because my numbers are set to change constantly. Yours won't be dancing around like that. Copy chart. The other thing is if when you try to select copy chart, if it says use Control C instead, you'll just click on it and you'll go Control C, just to let you know, okay? So I've done that. I've selected my chart, copied it, and I'm going to come over here under question 3, and I'm going to paste it, Control V. Yes, leave it linked to the spreadsheet, paste. That way, if later on you change your numbers for some reason, you can just come back to it and click on update, and it will update that for you, okay? Now, let's look at the very next question that says, why is this trend line we put in here? This is basically showing us the general trend of our data here. Why is it not particularly useful in making predictions? And the reason is simple, that the trend line does not exactly match the values that we've measured, okay? So we measured this value here. It isn't perfect. Now, some of you, I'm going to tell you, some of you, your trend line is going to match the values. And in that case, you'll just answer if a trend line is useful for making predictions in this chart. If the two are really matching close, okay, then the trend line is useful, and you'll say it is useful. Otherwise, the point being that there is a large difference between the trend line and our actual measurements at any point on the graph, okay? And so that was questions 2, 3, and 4 on this. And there's another video for the questions when we come down here to question 10. Just to let you know, there's another video for this one. Okay. So I'm going to end the video here.